So imagine this, a doctor who was successfully married is putting in extra time with his employees after work. Well, one day his wife comes home and catches him in the act, and the husband reacts by talking about how stressful his job has been, how unwell mentally he is, and he ends up in our psych ward. And what the wife does in response is probably one of the most entertaining revenge stories that I have ever heard and experienced. And I'm gonna tell you how it went down today. This is a juicy one, so buckle up. Welcome to Jay's Psych Ward Stories.
We are living in a psych ward. I'm quite sure this is psych ward. I'm quite sure.
Welcome to Jay's Psych Ward Stories. We are back for our third video on YouTube. TikTok's ban has been canceled. Now, I told viral psych stories on TikTok running up to almost 1 million followers. Maybe we can hit 1 million followers before this TikTok sell-off happens, or if it's banned again. We don't know what's gonna happen, but I've been dragging my feet to come over to YouTube to dedicate a channel specifically to Psych Ward Stories. We are finally here, and we're here for our third video. So thank you guys so much for coming along. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe, share with a friend, because I don't know what other YouTube channels out here are telling Psych Ward stories. I mean, I've seen a couple of Reddit posts, but we have a dedicated community here where we'll be not only discussing psych stories, but you guys can send your own stories in at jpsychwardstories@gmail.com, where I will be anonymously reading them. We're gonna get into some of those later in some other videos because I want to be able to catch up this community with some of the things that we've been sent to our email, because I think they're very interesting and it allows for discussion and it allows us to come together as a community, much like we did on TikTok, but even more focused here to be a good, alive resource for one another, sharing our experiences, sharing our knowledge, having some laughs, and who knows what awaits us in the future, but I'm loving what we have right now. So if you ain't liked this video already, make sure you like this video and definitely subscribe. Let's get back into this story. So let's start from the beginning. Like I said, successful doctor habitually cheating on his wife. In his arrogance, he is caught in the act when his wife comes home. And like a true narcissist might do, he instantly starts looking for ways he can blame this act on something that is far from him. So he starts talking about how tired he's been from work, how stressed he's been, and how he hasn't been feeling mentally well, but he's been afraid to share it with his wife, so it spilled over into his habitual cheating. This woman was not a jellyback, because what ended up happening was something out of one of those Hallmark movies or a scorned woman's dream. So instead of reacting and having an emotional outburst, she already had a hunch that he was cheating. Newsflash, guys, most of the time, they know. So when he started talking about having mental concerns, she immediately started pushing that he should go see a psychiatrist. And he was a little resistant, but after the extreme acts that she caught him in, he kind of had his hands tied. And she said, well, I don't want this to be damaging me if you want me to stay in this relationship. So the only way that I feel safe staying in this relationship after what I just saw is if you go to the psych ward to get evaluated based on the things that you told me. Oh, the plot thickens. He thought, what could the harm be? I'm a doctor, I'll go into the psych ward, tell them everything's fine, spend a couple of days in their tops, probably get out and get back to what I was doing. So like the loving wife she is, she helped him pack his bags, she supported him, rubbed his back, was very concerned about what it is that he was facing, and then took him to the psych ward. Once she gets to the emergency room, she tells this man, I am disgusted with you, I never want to see you again, and by the time you get out, I'll be gone. By this time, it's too late. He's already headed up to our psych ward, and she leaves him, uses the time in which he's in the psych ward to get her affairs in order, and she leaves the state. That's when the real mental breakdown starts to happen for this doctor. What we begin to see is a man completely lose it. He comes up to our unit, he is profusely crying like a child, and he threw himself into a real mental health crisis. This man was so bothered that he started wearing hospital gowns, and he needed to even wear diapers because while he was in his room, he refused to go to the bathroom himself, but he would go on himself. This went on for over a week, crying, throwing tantrums, full kid mode. It's like this woman hit a factory reset button on his mind and on his psyche. And we still treated him well. We still made sure he was looked after. After all, anybody that's dealing with a mental crisis, there's coping solutions. You just have to work through the truth and the reality of what's happening in your life. And for him at the moment, it was too much to bear. But it was self-inflicted trauma. He was able to enjoy his salary, his mistresses, while also pretending to hold down a marriage that apparently he wasn't even watering like that. And the wife that saw the writing on the wall, up to the physical manifestation of what was revealed to her eyes, to where he was in bed with another woman, it didn't take her long to cross her T's and dot her I's and get the heck out of Dodge. And while he was left to pick up the pieces, we were left, well, not me, because I'm not doing that, to wipe up and clean up a grown man's incontinence. Peeing on himself, pooping on himself, like truly low level stuff. And we're like, a doctor? A doctor? One thing I learned about working in psych is mental health issues are no respecter of persons. It doesn't matter how high you are on the totem pole of a company or what you own or how much money you have. If it comes for you, it comes for you. But in this situation, completely avoidable situation I might add, this gentleman stored up wrath for himself, which was paid out. His restitution was his suffering in our institution. And it had me thinking throughout. Because he would cry in his room, he'd be saying I'm sorry to his wife. And it just had me thinking, like, what version of yourself were you while you were in the acts of what you were doing? A lot of people aren't actually sorry for their actions, but they're sorry once they get caught and they see what they have to lose. To him, he had the world. And I'm not sure what his upbringing was, but that doesn't mean you have to downbring somebody else, especially somebody you marry. You could have stayed single and lived your life. A lot of this information, play by play, story by story, was given to the nurses directly from the wife as they would call to see about his discharge plans and how he would end up leaving the hospital, to which she said, I'm not taking any responsibility for this man for these reasons. Here's my story, and you guys can find other resources for him, or he could take care of himself or talk to his parents. Now, even on our best days, we're only human at our best. A successful marriage takes intention, friendship, and that's probably where he messed up. Not being a good friend to your spouse over a long period of time in a relationship, that tends to become a problem. And as a result, it became a psychological problem. But let me know what you think about this story below. Do you feel bad for this man in any capacity? Like I said, my job as a mental health technician was to take care of everyone and not be a discriminator in anybody's situation. So yes, he received help, coping skills. Now, he wasn't necessarily readily available to receive these things at first. Eventually, he did get over himself and was just completely embarrassed at the fact that he lost all sense of control, even to his bodily functions, where he had to wear a diaper. But he did eventually get discharged. He did eventually get self-help. I'm not sure where this man is today, but based on the actions he had outside of the hospital, it didn't seem like he valued his wife too much in the first place. So maybe that's better for him. But I hope his ex-wife is doing well out there. It seems like she had to shed that extra weight so that she could fly. Do y'all think this man got what he deserved? After all, it's not like he died. It's not like anything super crazy happened to him that wasn't the result of his own doings. I told y'all this was some revenge out of a movie, out of a well-written book, but it is a reality, and sometimes reality is more interesting than fiction could ever be. Let me know your thoughts about this video in the comment section. Definitely subscribe, share this channel out to as many people as possible. If you want to share any stories that you may have to jpsychwardstories@gmail.com, you can go ahead and send it there. I will review them. And then share them anonymously with our community so that we can grow together, learn together, we can get live advice. I got so many plans for this channel and what we do, but we gotta crawl before we walk. And I just want to populate our channel a little bit more, prove some consistency in this channel. And apparently YouTube's on easy mode right now, where small channels can grow a lot faster. Right now we're at 19 subscribers, which I am very grateful for. Let's continue to grow. Appreciate y'all, love y'all, and I'll see y'all in another video.